everybody, and welcome to your very first round of month ahead forecasts on my channel. I'm so excited to start something new. I'm at a new place. This is like a new filming studio, if you will, and I can't wait to kind of change up my offerings a little bit. And before we begin, I do want to tell you a little bit about that. First and foremost, my name is Yelena Crawford, so welcome back to anyone and everyone that was a previous subscriber. Thank you guys so much. And for anybody that hasn't met me yet, welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. And this is kind of what my channel is going to look like moving forward. So if you were not a previous subscriber, you don't need to worry about what it used to be, but I kind of have a little bit of a new content strategy. So I'm going to be getting rid of my weekly forecast completely, and I'm going to start the month couple days prior to each new month. I'm going to push out forecast videos, which are month ahead forecasts, which is what this is, for all 12 zodiac signs. So you guys can know ahead of time exactly what's happening. And if you weren't already aware, I do offer a written monthly forecast as well. And it's general. It's not by zodiac sign. It's basically all about the collective and the energies that are happening in the month ahead, which can really help you to have that written paper, right? So if you are interested in signing up for my free written cosmic guide, is what I call it, you can go to my website, yelenacrawford.com, and a little pop-up box will come up on the screen where you can enter your email address. But I promise not to spam. I don't really send a whole lot. I maybe inform you guys of new videos or any new offerings I might have or whatever, but that's pretty much it. And then on top of these monthly forecasts, what I plan to do is obviously full and new moon videos, you know, and horoscopes for those as they come along. But also I want to start breaking down significant transits throughout the month. So as the energies are kind of coming in and passing, I want to really dive in and hone in and talk about those as they come along, so we can kind of follow the transits together. So I want to make this really interactive. I may end up doing a lot of lives for some of these things too, but I will definitely make sure to let you guys know ahead of time. And then another one of my offerings is on Instagram, and I've been really kind of amping that up, and I've been doing daily astrology updates. So if you guys really want to follow the astrology on a daily basis as you learn and as it helps you with your own life, then I would highly suggest adding me over at Yelena Crawford Astrology on Instagram as well. I'm going to have stories and daily posts so you guys can keep up to date with the astrology in many different ways. Also, this is a general forecast, and I want to make that very clear that yes, I'm breaking this down by your rising sign. So that kind of sets up the chart, and I'm able to kind of see some of the in and out energies and the different themes that might be brought into focus for you over the next month. But your individual birth chart is what gets activated by these transiting energies. And our birth charts are all completely different. So while this might be hitting somebody and really bringing out positive potential with some of these transits, it could also be really exacerbating a negative portion of someone else's chart. So just keep that in mind. And if you are someone who is maybe navigating big changes and you want to make more sense of it, then contact me for a personal reading. I would highly suggest getting a reading with me or whatever astrologer you deeply resonate with. You can also do that through my website, yelenacrawford.com. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the announcements for right now. So let's get into the forecast. Hey Virgo, happy April 2022. So it's going to be a big month. Obviously, all planets are direct until the very end of the month. And there's a lot of energy for everybody. So just to give you a specific lowdown, it looks like some of the main energies for you are very, very relationship oriented this month. That could be love partnership. It could be business partnership. It could be very platonic and friend related partnerships. Some of these may be work related partnerships. So that is definitely at the forefront for you. There's also some money related matters it looks like come up throughout the course of the month as well. So maybe the ideas of taxes, debts, finances, tendencies to spend a little bit too much or needing to get a little bit more serious with your money, maybe having to make purchases. So we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. There's a lot of different possibilities of how that could play out. It's really interesting because then there's going to be some energy highlighted on I would say more so higher education, maybe the potential for travel and things like that could come into the forefront as well. Some of you literally might be moving or planning a move or something home related or traveling across the country, you know, who knows? So let's go ahead and we're going to break it down. I just like to give kind of an idea of some of the general themes. But ultimately, like I said, this is a really big month. For you specifically, Virgo, the month starts off in your 8th house. So April 1st, we have a new moon, and a new moon is the very beginning of a lunar cycle. So not only does this energy, take place right now at the beginning of the month where you could potentially be making moves to start something, or, there could be something in the works, or you having a desire to move in a certain direction, creating a new beginning of some sort. Maybe you get an opportunity of some sort. Maybe you have a goal that you'd like to achieve related to something 8th house, which we'll talk about in a moment. But ultimately, this energy kind of sets the stage for how the rest of the month is going to go. So it's important to kind of break that down a little bit more. In the sign of Aries, it's all about standing in your power, right? Being courageous, being brave, being independent, taking the lead, taking the initiative on things. It's a very go-get-em kind of energy, very bold, not afraid to make the first move. So yeah, that's the kind of energy that's really being highlighted here, which for you, could potentially be a part of you that maybe you don't have as much access to. So it's 8th house. These are things that are secretive or hidden. So this could be some of your tendencies that create some issues for you in your life, or that you've had some traumas surrounding. There's some healing that has really been taking place here regarding your desire to be independent, or your ability to be independent, or take initiative, or make the first move, or start something and kind of go it your own way. So one thing I can see here as well for some people is maybe this is surrounding themes of sexual healing. There's a lot of relationship energy that's coming up here. This could be very sexual related. It could also be related to just the intimacy that we share with another people, because ultimately this is the house that comes after the partners. So that could also be shared finances, shared resources, or just shared energy in general. So it's very intimate in nature. The energy that we share with another person, but still being able to maintain your independence within those intimate connections, which could potentially be maybe something that you've had an issue with in previous times. You could be working through bouts of anger, or your relationship with aggression as well during these time periods, because this can tend to bring out shadow qualities within us. But I would like to think that this energy could somewhat be maybe a breakthrough moment for you, where you're starting to build healthier relationships with these things. This is with Chiron, the wounded healer. So there's been a lot of wounding that we've been working through, that we've been healing, that we've been addressing, that's helping you to stand more in your own power here. So there could be some deep inner psychological reworkings that are going on as well right now. Let's see here. I would also like to say too, with this new moon, maybe you are intending on paying off debt. Maybe there's some joint financial venture that you're going to be involved with here. Maybe it's the relationship or the reliance that you have on other people for, emotional support, or maybe it's financial support. Maybe there's some new intention you have here to be more independent in that sense, right? So there's a lot of different ways that this could play out. But maybe you are starting a new joint financial venture with somebody else, or maybe you are intending to get some type of loan, or there's a lot of ways that this could play out. So I just wanted to give you a bunch of insight onto that first and foremost. But I think for a lot of you, it could be significantly related to the healing of the self, especially with Mercury's involvement here, which is your chart ruler. This could potentially really change the way that you communicate in an intimate way with partners or with people that you're close with. So it could really kind of change that up, if you will. So that's really nice. But one thing that we do want to consider is that the ruler, Mars, of this new moon is building towards a more challenging dynamic for a lot of us. And it's Mars going to come into a conjunction with Saturn. And Saturn is a little bit of a more restrictive and limiting force. It can really bring up responsibility, our duties, and the need for discipline and dedication to something. And also, Mars is our drive, it's our motivation, which could somehow be challenged at this time. On one level, I think that this could bring a lot of discipline. It could be supporting you and getting more serious about work, about getting the job done, whatever that means to you. This could literally be in the workplace. So maybe it's you realize you need to save money. Maybe you've been spending a little bit too much. Maybe you've got a lot of bills and debts that you need to pay off, or maybe there's something that you want to invest in. You realize, well, I got to put in the work right now, because Saturn and Mars are coming into conjunction, which is like extreme motivation and discipline, especially in a house. These are challenging planets, but this is a house that they would operate a little bit better in, especially Mars. So this could give you that drive and discipline to really restructure the work that you're doing in the workplace. Maybe you start to take on more shifts or something like that, and you're just really gung-ho about getting the job done. Now, since this is the house also of health and the physical body and the things that we do on a daily basis to take care of ourselves in that way, or maybe not take care of ourselves, this could maybe bring a crisis or stressful situation with the body and with your health if you haven't been taking care of yourself. Or it can be maybe some accident or something that happens with the body. Maybe you hurt your leg or something like that, or you are in the gym working a little bit too hard. You want to be careful with that as well, and you tear a muscle or something like that. But ultimately, I think on another level, this could go in a more positive way, where maybe you get more serious about taking care of yourself. You start to be more regimented with the foods that you eat, with your gym routine, or maybe you didn't have a gym routine before and now you do. Now you're motivated to do something like that. So ultimately, I think that this could be beneficial if used in the right way. So we'll just want to keep an eye out for that ultimately. And I'm trying to see here. Getting yourself on a schedule would be really good right now, like using this energy to get on a more regimented schedule, being a little bit more diligent every day with what it is that you do and having intention and purpose behind that. I think that would be very helpful. For some of you, this could be associated with the ways that you indulge and enjoy life. Maybe you're having a little bit too much fun, and that as a result affects your health or your work in some way. So you may need to restructure because of that. All right, so that is in a square with the nodes, and the nodes are in the 9th and the 3rd house. And this is all about the mind and our consciousness and learning and communication and everything like that, and our everyday environment and stuff. So I think that if you can focus, for anybody specifically, on higher learning and education, that's kind of what's calling you towards it. Travel, all of these things could definitely be coming up for you a little bit this month too, which we'll get into that a little bit more later. But this is definitely going to maybe be a time where you feel some stress, okay, at the beginning of the month, and you might need to reorganize some things. Okay, or have some serious conversations for some of you as well. All right, then we are moving into April 5th through around April 12th. And I like this because we have a little bit more magical energy that's coming through. And obviously every energy is a spectrum. So there could be challenges with this too. And I'm going to cover both just to give you some insight, because I can't see your own personal birth chart and I don't know how this is activating you. So I like to give you every extreme of possibility with this. But what's been happening is we have Jupiter, which is the big benefic. It's all about abundance and luck and learning and wisdom, teachers, expansion, and opportunity, which is moving towards a conjunction with Neptune. So I'm not going to address that first, but that's been amping up as the month has already progressed. And now we've got Venus, which has been in a challenging dynamic with workplace relationships, health potentially, an conflict maybe that's arisen, or your need to kind of restructure your daily work environment. And somehow Venus has broken free from that dynamic, and she is now moving into Pisces, her exalted position where she is celebrated. So our interpersonal connections with other people, relationships, money-related matters specifically for you because this rules your money house, your self-worth, what you truly value in life. All of these things are going to be very connected. This is an opportunity to really learn, expand your consciousness. You might feel more driven to maybe learn something out in the world. There's some of your connections and relationships might serve as teachers for you. You might learn so much from these experiences that it actually inspires you to explore your spirituality or expand in some way in life. Maybe you decide to go on travels with your partner or something like that. And maybe you come into money that helps you do that. So this is ultimately really beautiful energy because as we move, Venus moves into Pisces on April 4th, which kind of starts some of the magic, and she will progress in the next week and get a little bit closer to Jupiter and Neptune. And then on April 12th, we have the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. So for some of you, literally, this is like dream relationship energy. Like maybe you are attracting somebody that you had only hoped and dreamed and wished for. Somebody that is magical, maybe somebody that does spiritual work. If this is a love partnership, this could be like a soulmate, somebody that you feel very connected to on a very spiritual level. This could be someone who holds a lot of spiritual gifts that could maybe open that up within you, and you know, stuff that you never even imagined could have potentially happened to you. You know what I mean? These individuals may hold a healing energy within them that helps you to heal yourself, and the way that you operate in relationships. So this, if you have been somebody that's forgotten about relationships or it's been more difficult for you in the prior months, this could be really beautiful healing energy. Let's see here. So this could literally be somebody that serves as a teacher. So maybe you meet somebody that is going to really serve to teach you so much about life. For some, I can honestly see this being an energy of maybe having a dream come true to move somewhere with a partner or with your family. Maybe it's purchasing a home, because Jupiter ultimately also rules your 4th house of home and family. And with Venus being involved here too, being the money house ruler, maybe you have a personal possession that you purchase, or you're able to add some aesthetic flair to your home life, or maybe you are able to purchase more clothing to kind of adorn yourself a little bit more. So yeah, or you find a partner that looks like that, you know, that's beautiful and very Venusian and wise Jupiterian. So I can see that playing out in a lot of different ways. Now, one thing I do want to bring to your attention is that this is opposing your ascendant for some of you, more specifically between, I would say, let's say like 17 to 29 degrees Virgo. If you have your ascendant point there, you know, you want to just be careful. This could obviously be difficult. It could clash with who you are, your belief systems. There might need to be some shifting and changing that goes on with you as a person. You know what I mean? You might have to kind of step it up when you've got somebody that comes in like this, whether it be a teacher, a friend, business partner, whatever it might be. But on one hand as well, you want to make sure that you are looking at things from a more realistic standpoint, looking at things through your Virgo lens, because Virgos tend to be very discerning, usually for the most part, and making sure that you're doing that, because this energy is very magical, but can sometimes be a little illusory and otherworldly, and it can deceive us sometimes. You know, we might be just putting somebody up on a pedestal so much and then later on being disappointed or something. But ultimately, you guys, I like this because it's hard to say without looking at your specific chart, but this is a brand new Jupiter-Neptune cycle. It's a new 12-year cycle of setting the stage for this maybe important person who's coming into your life, or maybe it's an important contract or negotiation for some of you. This could be a home, purchasing of a home or something like that as well, since we are having the sun move through the 8th house of mortgages and everything. So maybe some of you are actually going to be doing real estate for a career, and you meet somebody that helps you, and you're going to be going through a program of learning or something. I'm just trying to combine this in every way possible for you, but let's go ahead and move on. Nonetheless, it's beautiful energy, and it should be really, really exciting. So then we move into a little bit more of a roadblock in the beginning of the month. No worries though. I mean, this is passing energy. It's the full moon, which is on April 16th. It's the full moon in Libra. which does highlight your second house of money, resources, possessions, finances. But on another level, these are all, our survival-based needs. And it has a lot to do with your own worth, right? How you value yourself. What are the things that you value in terms of purchases? What is your relationship with money, budgeting, structuring? You know what I mean? Are you balanced in this area? Libra is all about balance. Are you balanced out in this area? What are you doing money-wise right now? So there could be a little bit of stress or tension here. It is making a T-square because a full moon is when the sun is opposite the moon in the chart. So the moon is in your second house of money and resources. The sun is in your eighth house of debts, taxes, obligations, which are monetary or energetic to other people, death, inheritance, taxes, payouts, all of those types of things are definitely coming up to the forefront right now. For some of you, this could bring attention or require you to somehow shift on a very internal level, purge out some things related to maybe what you're spending money on. This could be overindulging in fun, recreation, play, party, all of those kinds of things. For some, it could be gambling, right? Because it's very much associated with the fifth house. So that area of life is asking to be transformed. Now, for some of you, dealing with the axis of self-worth, sex, healing, regeneration, transformation, maybe there's a dynamic that's a little bit more stressful with dating, romance, sex, or something like that. Maybe it has to do with your children, and it's going to require some sort of shift and change internally. Maybe you're having to let go of something, or you're having to move through something that's a little bit more difficult that could have been associated with previous traumas. So just keep an eye out for that. Like I said, it's passing energy, so it's not going to be, affecting us too much. And ultimately, what I like about it is that the ruler of this full moon, Venus, is in a really nice position. So for you, it could very well have to do with this important relationship that has maybe come in. So then we've got Taurus season starting on April 19th. For you, this activates your ninth house of higher education, learning, expanding who you are, your consciousness. It's a lot to do with like your belief systems, your political views, your religious views, just your perspective on everything, right? And being that this is Taurus, the sun's moving in here, we're starting a whole month, a whole new season. It highlights this area of your life. And we have eclipses coming up here as well. Being that Venus is in the seventh house of relationships and contracts and negotiations, some of you may literally be pushed into a new study program, or you could be acknowledged somehow for what you're studying out in the world. You could be given an opportunity to travel somewhere. And we're going to talk about this more when the eclipses come. Maybe you're actually doing this with a partner, right? So I am not going to put too much emphasis on that with Taurus season because I do want to focus more so on that area with the eclipse. But just know that area of life is definitely being highlighted for you. Okay. Oh, another thing too, I wanted to note Taurus season's always significantly nicer for Virgo because it makes what's called a trine to your ascendant. So whatever happens during this time period, it's like the energy is just flowing so nicely for you specifically, for you to feel confident in who you are. It's kind of helping you to shift and change your identity, feeling more comfortable in your own skin, feeling more confident about your body, the knowledge that you hold. So I really do like that once the sun moves into Taurus and we start activating this eclipse at the end of the month. Then I want you to be aware, this isn't going to be super important this month, but I do want to bring it to your attention because it'll be more important next month. But it's going to be nice to bring your conscious awareness and be mindful of this. So what happens is we're about to enter the Mercury retrograde shadow period. Mercury retrogrades, just a quick synopsis. Mercury is your chart ruler. It's more important for you. It's more important for Geminis. So this is going to be important for you to pay attention to, okay? Mercury retrogrades are a time where we are reworking something in our minds. We are reworking, Mercury rules the mind, communication, our thought processes, learning, how we communicate. It can be business related. It can be learning something, or it can just be reworking our mental processes in some way. Right? Going back over decisions, going back over whatever it's related to. For you, Mercury rules your 10th house of career, what you're doing in the world, how you're known out in the world, your, career aspirations. And it's also you. It's your first house, your identity. So you might be rethinking what you want to do with your life. You know what I mean? What do I want to do when I grow up? These kinds of things could definitely be reworked. For some of you, if you're already like in your career and everything like that, you could be significantly changing the way that you're seen publicly. So for some of you, it may literally be like reworking your offerings or restructuring like your website and how people see you or what you're putting out there. You could be reorganizing something for your work or talking to your boss and restructuring your position or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with ideas here, but this can happen in a lot of different ways. Now, this for you is going to be moving back and forth between the 9th and 10th house. It'll start moving through the shadow period on April 26th, highlighting higher education, how you're expanding your spirituality, your belief systems, the way that you see the world, and related to your career as it moves through the shadow into Gemini later on of the month and into May before it retrogrades. So you're going to be reworking. What are you learning? Where are you traveling? What are you doing with your life? What do you want to do? How do you want to be seen? A lot of those things are going to be coming into the forefront, okay? So just getting you thinking about that as April 26th hits, be conscious of it. Start watching, because these shadow periods oftentimes set up circumstances that we will later be moving through again, back and forth during the retrograde period, which starts May 10th. Okay, so that's just an idea for you guys to ponder. And then rounding out the month on April 29th, we have the ending of all planets direct. Pluto will station retrograde, and that's going to be happening in your 5th house. And the 5th house is very vast for some of you children. There's been a transformation maybe of your relationship with your children since 2008. Right? A lot has been going on here. This could be your creative talents, your offerings, what lights you up, how you share what you love to do with people, your hobbies. This is also the house of celebration, fun, indulgence, play, sex, gambling, drinking, celebrating. All of those things are done in the 5th house. So it's being brought to focus. For a lot of you, this will be nice because this energy, it's no stranger. You've been working with Pluto retrograde since 2008 in this house. Pluto is near the end of its cycle, though. So this is becoming more imperative that we learn these lessons and that we transform and release and purge what needs to be let go of here. So if you've had a good relationship with this Pluto energy in this house, then you will probably be doing well. It is trining the ascendant and sextiling the descendant, which is you and your relationships with other people and other people in your life. So ultimately, especially if you have an ascendant between 26 to 28 degrees of Virgo, whatever's happening in your love life, whatever's happening with your creative talents, or if you are really focusing on truly finding joy in life once again, these energies will be highly supported and you'll be doing some more inner work in this realm. So keep an eye out for that. I would say if you're your earlier degree, it's going to be much more subtle. Pluto typically tends to be a subtle influence anyways. It is a planet that's very far out there and it works with us on a very deep level that sometimes we are not very conscious of until we see it in hindsight. Then rounding out the month Virgo, we have a beautiful partial solar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. And if you know anything about solar eclipses, they are usually associated with big beginnings and big endings in our lives. These eclipse cycles on the Taurus-Scorpio axis just began. The first eclipse was in November, and this cycle is going to continue working with you in the areas of higher educational pursuits, spiritual expansion, teaching, learning, growing, developing, expanding in all ways in life. This is going to be going until July of 2023 for you. So this is really great. Especially right now, there's a big tie to whatever it is that you're expanding or learning or growing and developing in a spiritual sense. Your belief systems are changing. The way that you see things are totally being molded and changed. And this could be very well related to whatever this relationship is that came in, whoever this person is, whatever this contract is or negotiation that you're involved with, or, it could be tied in with travel and where you're moving for some of you, or maybe you're traveling with a partner and you're learning through that, or yeah, there's so many ways, but ultimately what this is doing is this is a solar eclipse. So solar eclipse with a new moon, it brings new beginnings. It is a fresh new start in this area that will play out over the course of the next 6 months, particularly for this one. It's happening at 10 degrees Taurus, and this is trining your first house, your ascendant, and it's sextiling your descendant. Those are very nice aspects where energy flows effortlessly. And this could be really beautiful unfolding. Things could move very quickly for you. It's really a great, abundant opportunity to learn and grow and expand your interpersonal relationships with others, to really grow and expand who you are as a person and the way that you see the world, your religious and spiritual beliefs. You could just be honestly really transforming in the most magical ways right now based off of your experiences with others. So take hold of whatever has come in. It's really beautiful for a lot of you guys, and it could be really magical. With Uranus involved here, it could be out of the blue, sudden and unexpected. Maybe you get some flash download and inspiration. You understand higher concepts better than you ever have before. You have some knowledge or information come out of the blue that you don't even know where you got it, you know? So anyways, I don't want to keep going on and on, but I think I really love this for you guys. I would love to hear your insights on how you resonate or how the story is kind of starting to unfold for you and how you like the new format on my channel. I'm excited as well to continue throughout the month of breaking down the transits more specifically, so that we can follow along in real time and kind of see how it plays out with our life. I love this transit tracking stuff. I'm obsessed with it. So, and it's very beneficial to understand you and the people around you and what they're going through, you know, makes you more accepting and understanding. So I love you guys so much. If you would feel so inclined to tap the like button below, it really helps the channel and getting this message out there to other people so they can benefit as well. And leave me a comment below. I'm excited to talk to you guys further as the month progresses, but for now, peace and namaste.